There's actually one plate on it. They've actually put a plate on a plate and over a plate. Good whack with a hammer, I reckon it probably will have holes there. You know, if it's bad there, it's going to be even worse underneath. This air pipe's leaking on here. And that's £100 odd for that air pipe. The rack's probably the best part of 300 quid. It's just adding up and up and up.
Oh god.
It's not very good at all. Do all that work, you're talking a couple grand, I reckon. You know, I think to spend the money on it, it's a bit stupid. I think you're wasting your money.
Back in April, I took my van down to a local garage to get my brake lines looked at. Whilst I was there, they discovered a concerning amount of rust on the rear subframe. I wanted to watch while they checked it over, but they told me I should just wait for a phone call. When I returned, they told me it would cost over £1,000 to fix and wouldn't really elaborate when pushed for details. So I just pulled up at the garage. My brakes failed today, took it down. MOT's due soon, so I got them to do a quick once over, and yeah, worst news you could possibly get. Many unexpected repairs, and it's going to cost an arm and a leg, and now I've just got to work out what the hell I'm going to do. Is it worth it? What's the van worth to me? Yeah, don't really know at the moment. Going to go and sort of going to have to get it towed as well, because the brakes are too bad to drive it on the road. So yeah, I'll do that now. I wasn't just going to accept this, I wanted to find out more. Why were they being so vague? With the van parked back up outside the workshop, I decided to investigate. Before I get under the van, I want to remove the spare wheel just to give myself a bit more space. And the problem is that my floor obscures the bolt that I need to loosen in order to get the spare wheel out. So I'll do that, then I'll have a bit more space to sort of get a proper look at the work that might need doing. I've got to just assess everything, weigh up my options. The more I know, the better, really. I mean, that's good. I can access it, but it doesn't make this the right tool, it turns out. Nor is that, I mean, who has an Allen key that big? Oh, for goodness sake. That's not my Torx box. I may still not have an Allen key. Oh, I still don't. Nope. I just don't have the tool. Turns out if you actually read the manual, which isn't very legible anymore because I spilt brake fluid on it, turns out the other end of the tool for taking your wheels off is a large Allen key. Look at that. Right, let's have a look. So when I took it down to the garage to get the brakes looked at, when they found everything else wrong with the van, one of the items on the list was corrosion on rear subframe. Googled subframe, and all that came up was a rear axle. And I was thinking, hey, what have they found here? Of course, yes, there's surface rust, but I've hit it with the wire brush. And it's all surface rust, it's all treatable. I was thinking, what was, you know, there couldn't have been that much fuss about that. It turns out the reason I couldn't find any rust on the rear subframe is because the Transit Connect doesn't have a rear subframe. I decided the most sensible option was to get a second opinion, and this is where Carl comes in. He was kind enough to come out and have a look at the van and decided the best option was to take it back to his garage for further inspection. So today I'm going to find out what else is wrong with my van. My dad's going to pick me up. Carl, who's going to do the repairs if they are done, has just fixed my dad's car, and that's gone well.
The main issue is obviously we know we've got a brake pipe gone.
Yeah.
All the brake pipes I'm doing, they're all quite rusty. There's one that's been changed already, so one's been done. Front wheel bearing you knew about. Bottom ball joints both sides got a play in them. The rack's leaking on that far side, and these new rack out arms as well, which they attach to the steering rack. So you've got a lot of play there basically. 2 front tyres, because they've got the inner edge right off. There's no back brakes at all hardly. There's going to need cables, rear shoes and wheel cylinders. But the main thing is the rust on the seals. It's not very good at all. If it weren't for the seals, I'd say do it, but I think you're completely wasting a lot of money, because probably by next year it'll probably be scrap. You know, we tried jacking it up yesterday and it was all crunching. It was a bit reluctant to jack it up really. You know, we got it up and it wasn't very nice. It's had a lot of welding on the seals, and it's just breaking beside it.
Was that just sort of hiding it rather
everywhere,
than
yeah.
sorting it? Yeah.
But someone else to put another patch there. There's actually one plate on it. They've actually put a plate on a plate. And over a plate. It's getting that bad. You know.
Oh God.
This air pipe's leaking on here. And that's £100 for that air pipe. So I've just done on my van, and that won't go for emissions because you've got your main airflow meter there. So that's got to be changed. Yeah. So it's just adding up and up and up.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think the big thing, I mean, everyone has to learn this at some point, is that when I got this, I sort of, you know, I looked around for ages, and then you know, you set your heart on something, and you put those things, the little niggling worries behind you, don't you? Yeah. And they even said, "Oh yeah, we've tidied up the seals," and I was like,
you know, when you see the welding patches on the sides, I would have walked away from it straight away. You know, if it's bad there, it's going to be even worse underneath. You know, even where the spring hangers all are, it's not very good at all. You know, a good whack with a hammer, I reckon it would probably, you'll have holes there.
Because when you were talking about that kind of crunching, I thought when I was jacking up, I was thinking, oh, maybe that's the gravel.
That's the seals. That's the seals.
And I did think that the fact that you know, you've got like on your jack and on your manual, it tells you where. You can't see where that point is because it's covered in.
These you can jack up anywhere on the sill pretty much, but we had it in several places.
Any normal one, you mean?
Yeah.
And scrap value of this?
It's about 100 quid.
100 quid. Yeah.
But you know, if it weren't for the rust, I'd say carry on. But I think you've fucking wasted your money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work there, like your steering rack, it's several hours. You know, the rack's probably for the best part of 300 quid for that, and it's, you know, it's half a day to do that rack.
Sort of rough guesstimate, what do you reckon,
I reckon
that work would be?
Do all that work, you're talking a couple grand, I reckon.
Right.
Well, I mean, when I bought the van,
yeah,
I went for, partly because of what I could afford, but part of the reason I went for this, like a smaller van, was because of this situation, I think, because I didn't want to run into this situation on something that cost me 3 times as much. Yeah. Because I've been had.
Yeah. Sorry for bad news, but I didn't want you to. You know, I could charge you 2 grand and go away, but you know, I want to be fair, really.
So it looks like I've got some decisions to make. Clearly, the van is not viable to fix, but I have got to think about what I do going forward, and I will talk about all of that in the next episode. And whilst you're waiting for the next van video, please do check out the other stuff on my channel. In the sort of absence of van videos, I've been getting on with various stuff, clearing the workshop, fixing up this car. And yeah, if you like watching me as much as watching the van stuff, then go and check it out. I'd really appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed already, then please do, because it really helps. All right, I'll see you in the next episode. Whoa. What the hell was that?